What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo leveling arise video. Alright guys, real quick, just so we are on the same page, the last video that we talked about with the don't do this video, when it came down to activity funds, it looks like we're coming in with some weird numbers. We've had a lot of people come through with various times. Some people have been able to save up to 180 hours and it actually does work for them, but their tiers are much higher. And then some people were able to save up to like 48 hours and it doesn't work for them. After that, it doesn't work for them. So I'm not sure what the formula is here for what's working for people and not. We're all trying to figure it out now because it's a weird situation. So I do hope that Netmarble comes through and kind of gives us an explanation of how idle works, because quite honestly, it's a little weird for some of us. Now, the reason why people are doing this, two reasons. Number one, if you have an alt, right, and you're just kind of letting that alt sit by idly, and you're like, you know what, I'll get to this all some other day, let it level up over time through the idle. That's a great way to do it. Just kind of let it sit, collect. When you jump on, boom, it's ready to go, right? In the case of my early access SR account, for some reason it stopped at 59,000 EXP. No idea why it did that. 720 hours, and that's all it did. You guys saw that? It's on video. For some people it's the same thing. For some other folks it's working perfectly fine. So again, not sure what exactly is the reason behind that, but there must be a reason. So I just want to point that out. So thank you for those folks who are jumping on and giving me different numbers. It's great because then we're at least getting a threshold here on what does work and what doesn't, and it seems like it's not working for everybody, and some people it is. So hopefully this mystery will be solved, or if somebody has the answer and solution, they've done enough testing on this and you were very keen on this subject, let me know as well too, and I'm more than happy to present the information plus credit you whenever possible. So again, thank you to those people who participated. Now, I do want to talk about a couple of different things that have been heard down the pipeline regarding some new characters and my thoughts on the upcoming WOBL in January. Now, if you guys are aware, or not aware, the newest WOBL on the roadmap in January is actually not going to be a Monarch. It's actually going to be the hidden chapter stories of Demos or Demios, or however the hell you say his name. We're going to go ahead and take a look at him. Now, my thoughts on this, only because of how the character is linked to a certain other character, is that the Demios character and storyline will be revolved around, we know, number one, light, right? We know that light for sure will be that. But the other one here is, the other element is where a lot of people are either in agreement or disagreement about. And I think it's important to kind of discuss this one, right? And that is right here, the Death Knight, right? The story itself revolves around Alicia. So if you guys check here, if you want to rewatch the story, you can, right? You guys can see Elena, Renault, and Emma Laurent, and then Alicia, right? So this is the squad that's kind of based around. Now, this villain is actually this boss. I'm gonna put my screen up here so you guys can see the storyline. Most people skip these things, right? So this is why it's important. Who the hell is that? Mr. Sung? Yes, what is it? This enemy with the shadow energy, it knew you. Please be honest with us. Do you know something about them? No, I don't know anything. I never saw anything like that before today. But the phrase failed experiment really bothers me. Failed experiment, what experiment do you think it means? I'm not completely sure, but one thing I'm sure, it wasn't a magic beast. It must be something similar, but it might be stronger. Have we failed again? So you guys can see here, Alicia clearly has in her guild, Justitia, I think is what they're called. Just Titties is definitely involved with this enemy. So Demios, who is the Dark Knight in this game, why is she looking at me? So this is my business card. If you find any information, have you let me know. It doesn't seem like I owe you a favor. Hey, we're friends. Don't be so rude. She is so horny, bro. She is so home meals for everybody. Hey, I'm still hungry. Plus, I really worked up an appetite running around like that. Hey, Janu, got plans for tonight? Bitch, you're too young. Your face is giving you away, you liar. Meeting up like this was fate. How about we celebrate by grabbing a bite to eat? No, thanks. Hey, don't be like that, please, pretty please. With a cherry on top, I'm busy. Let's go. What Korean food is the tastiest? I haven't had that much energy since I was a kid. Alright, so I'm sorry, Emma's often in her own little world. And then Alicia, of course, as usual, is a cold queen. And this would be a cool thing to bring back. So where am I getting with all this, right? I think that the next WL, because it is the Alicia boss, might bring back a little bit of water, right? So the Death Knight right here, you guys can see for sure that he is light, weak against light. This boss right here is weak against the Death Knight. You can see the weakness, but all WOBLs will have two elements. And I would be kind of shocked. I'd be kind of shocked if he is not going to be weak to a water element because of Alicia. Because again, it's not because obviously Emma's fire, right? So there's obviously the opportunity for a fire to be reintroduced. But I have a funny feeling that the actual Monarch that's coming out in March, that WOBL, Yogg, I think is going to be weak to fire. And here's my reasoning behind it. The newest leaks, the newest information has Isol being fire, Kenai being fire, and Goto being fire. Okay, so all three of those are the newest leaks. And shout out to, you know who you are. I don't know if it's going to get you in trouble or not. So Mr. AL, for presenting that as the information. And I think if we look at it, that might be the revival of fire. It might start with Isol as the revival of fire, but I don't think it's going to be complete until we see Goto and Kainai coming together with Isol as the third unit, or perhaps Gina will be the third unit. Who knows, right? But either way, right now it's being reported as three units who are fire, and the upcoming January one, I think would be a great reintroduction to Water, because right now Water hasn't had any love. And I think Water's still a good enough team at the moment with Alicia and Meilin to like mix into the light team to make some form of result. Now, if it's light, realistically, most people probably won't use Water, so it's another great excuse to bring Water into the fold and be like, hey guys, look, you can use Water. And everyone's gonna like, why the hell would I use Water? I mean, Meilin would be the main reason why, right? And there wouldn't really even be Alicia at this point. But I think because of the boss's history with Alicia, this might be a pretty good idea. And that now makes me think that the upcoming Monarch boss, that's the March WOBL, is most likely going to be fired. Now, there isn't too much information about the three units. We know that there's some sort of a gimmick with attack with Isol. Kenai is going to play a lot more like Mirai, apparently. Again, this is all very early stuff. And then Goto was originally supposed to be a Water unit scheduled for December. Think about that, right? Think about that. So originally, Thomas was not supposed to be out. Remember, the Water unit that was supposed to release was supposed to be Goto Ryoji, right? Before Thomas was released. And this is before they even came up with the dual elemental WOBLs. This was supposed to be the single element WOBL, and he was supposed to be Water. So if you look at it, because Isol is now technically replacing his position, or Thomas technically kind of took, Isol and Thomas both kind of took over Goto's position. He was supposed to be Water. It makes sense if they kept the next WOBL as Water and just added light to it instead to make Thomas more important, right? So that's another really good reason why to think this way. So now Alicia has her storyline, and Alicia has her element, and she can now be a part of it and now bring back Alicia with some use. So you might see the revival of Water for this one instead, and then of course Goto, Kenai, and Isol going to be all fire. So again, remember, these are to be taken with a grain of salt. Netmarble can literally change this at any time, anytime they really want. But I think as for the WOBL, I'm pretty sure it's set in stone, and I have a pretty good feeling that we are going to see her, Alicia and the Water Squad be revived for this. And then Goto right over here, right? Our boy Goto being revived for specifically the concept of the new WOBL and that fire team. So I think very important to remember this, and we're probably going to see right, Goto and these guys come together as the Japanese team plus Isol and do really, really well. And I think Akari, and I think this is another reason why I was pretty sure that Akari was meant to be fire as well. Originally, I know a lot of us said this already. And you guys can see the whole team here, right? We had a lot of units, and I think Akari was meant to be fire to support Goto and Kenai. And then now, obviously, we obviously don't have that because she is a light unit. And I do want to take a picture of this because I think it's a badass picture. But there you guys go. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. I think a lot of that is leading towards the March one. The Monarch one is obviously more important. But hey, that's just a theory on my end. I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm right. All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.